Now is the time for the practice of yoga. All right, lovely. So I know that it's that time of year where Michigan, or even probably, I don't know the weather as much in DC area. I think it's more mild than up in Charlevoix. But there was 8-degree day, and then it looked like on Weather Underground it was going to be 30 or 40. So Michigan's doing her fabulous thing. Mother Nature is doing her fabulous thing of having a little bit of introduction to thawing out after winter, um, and then freezing again, and then thinking about thawing and freezing again. So with that in mind, we will work with expanding our lungs, sometimes stagnation from winter, uh, in case the world alone wasn't creating grief, then stagnation from winter can get stuck in the lungs, and this can have us feeling extra emotional. Um, and grief abides in the lungs. And then also working into the space of our fascia or our connective tissue. So we'll work with some twisting today and letting all of these practices help to wring us out so that we can move any stagnation more to the digestive tract and then allow for elimination from there. All right. So as you find your comfortable seat, it might be cross-legged, it might be on a chair, whatever feels right in your body. And we will take a moment to arrive. So hand to the heart, a hand to the belly might be a nice way to settle in. And as we start to settle in for practice, if it's comfortable, you might close your eyes completely or just letting your gaze travel towards the floor in front of you. And as we arrive for our practice, let's invite a nice deep inhale all the way in through the nose. And then as we exhale, we're releasing everything outside of this present moment. So a nice big exhale. And then we'll do that 2 more times. So a big inhale in through your nose, filling in as much as possible at this point in your day. And then as you are ready, open your mouth, exhale. We can add in the layer of intention that we release stagnation. So nice big inhale. And letting go, exhale. And then return to a natural breath, inhaling and exhaling. And then we'll join our palms together in our prayer position in front of our hearts. Letting this position, this mudra, invite peace and equanimity. As we arrive right here, letting this pause, this call to attention, amplify the energies of our hearts. May we amplify the energy of compassion. May we amplify the energy of peace. And here, setting an intention or pausing with your wish or prayer. Good. On an inhale, let's press our prayer hands right on up to the sky. Take your time as you inhale, reaching up. And as you exhale, sweep your arms nice and wide, clearing the energy all the way out and around you. Good. Let's float the arms 2 more times. So as you inhale, Let the breath begin, and then let the arms reach up. And then as you exhale, let the breath begin and feel as the arms float gently back down. Begin the inhale, feel the breath inspire movement. And then begin the exhale and feel as the arms relax back down. Good. Moving right into our lateral stretch. Reach your right arm all the way up and then leaning over to the side. Take your time here. We'll take a few full breaths, inviting that opening of our connective tissue. I can really feel the bottom ribs. I feel a little bit stuck together today. So if you feel an area that feels extra crunchy, send your breath into that space. Good. Let's float that arm back down to the earth, and then we'll wait for an inhale to inspire the left arm up. And then hinging over to the side. Again, take your time, spend some time here, allowing for the shape and the breath to help to open up any areas that have some congestion, some tightness. Good. We'll release that arm all the way back down. And again, on an inhale, let both arms reach up. And then twist to your right. So as you twist to your right, go ahead and bring your hands down to the earth, or maybe the left hand comes over to the right knee. Now, as you're here for a few full rounds of breath, let it be a gentle opening. So we are awakening the energy along the spine. We're releasing the connective tissue, the fascia, allowing for this twist to include the neck or not. Maybe the head is just staying centered, or maybe we're gently turning to look to the right. Let's come back on an inhale. So wait for the breath to reach back up at center. Good, and then when you're ready, twist to your left. Take your time. Again, you might bring your hands to the earth in front and behind, or right hand resting on the left leg. Good, and then here we breathe, allowing for time in this shape to invite opening. Good. When you're ready, let an inhale bring you back to center. Go ahead and reach your arms right on up to the sky. Good. And then bringing your hands to heart center. And then we'll bring our hands down to the floor in front of us. So mindful of your knees here. As you bring your hands down, maybe already you have some stretch happening. Maybe there is room to walk your hands farther forward. Let's check in here. If we arch our back like we do in cat pose, sometimes this adds to the back stretch. So rounding your back, chin towards your chest, maybe even pushing into your hands so you get a little more arch in the upper back. Good. We'll take a few more full breaths here. See about inviting the awareness of your breath, expanding the back of your lungs, the back of your rib cage, finding some room around your spine. Good. We will uncurve first and then walk our hands back, finding our way to upright. Good. As you extend out through your legs, you might first just reach them out in front, opening up the back of your knees, shake out through your legs. And then we'll take our legs a little bit wider apart. So as you shift your legs wider, rather than try to go to like a splits position, sometimes there's a measurement tool. So wherever our legs were with our cross-legged position, that angle is a pretty good angle for us to find a wide-legged. Oftentimes it's a lot smaller than we think we should go. So it's just an idea, something to play with. All right. From here, what we will do is the inhale position is center. And as you exhale, you'll fold, not overly deep, over one leg. Exhale, inhale back up. Exhale over the other leg. And inhale back up. So this is our pattern. We're just getting fluidity in the spine. We're not trying to find our deepest stretch ever. We'll just continue. Exhale as you fold. Inhale back up. Moving with your breath. Good. Let's do once more to each side. Nice. And then as we come back up, we'll plant our hands in front of us. And again, we don't have to go too far. Sometimes simply reaching the chest forward, lengthening the spine, we already get quite a stretch on the back of our legs. Now, as you're breathing here, maybe we lean our weight forward into our hands. Perhaps there is space to walk the hands a little farther forward. We want to stay within a breathable edge. So if we push the stretch to its extreme, sometimes the body will push back. So we might back off a little if we felt things lock up. And then we can just take a moment to breathe right here. On an inhale, slowly come back up. Good. And then we'll bring our legs together again. Just shake out through your legs. And then we will plant our hands behind us. Slide the shoulder blades onto your back. So lifting up through your heart and your chest. And here we're aiming to lift the rib cage as much as possible so that the diaphragm has some room. So that we can find more of those abdominal breaths, a nice diaphragmatic breathing pattern. Sometimes this area gets a little stuck, a little frozen. Good. All right, very nice. We will roll down onto our backs. So as you come down onto your back, take a big full body stretch, reaching your arms up overhead. And stretch out through your legs. Find that full body stretch. Circle your wrist and your ankles and move your fingers and your toes. See about reaching a little more with the right arm and right leg. And then reach with your left arm and your left leg. Let's find a diagonal reach. So right arm, left leg. And then a left arm, right leg. Good. Another nice big stretch through the middle. And when you're ready, relax your arms down, bend your knees, bring your feet to the mat. Good. We'll bring the knees into our chest, hugging your legs. Take a moment here to rock your body right and left. Couple more times, releasing any tightness through the low back, releasing across the area of the muscles along your spine. Good. Hands onto your knees. We'll do some circles, taking both knees clockwise a few times. And then counterclockwise. Very nice. Keeping the right knee and let your left foot release down to the mat. We're reaching right leg to the sky for some nice big ankle circles. Moving it around in both directions. And even pronate your foot a little bit here, side to side. And point and flex a few times. Good. Bringing this knee into your chest, give it a nice tight squeeze. We will flatten the left leg out. So right knee is in, left leg is out. We'll find 3 deep breaths here. Good. From here, you'll take it into your right hand. So we'll bring our right knee out to the side. So we're not coming into our twist just yet. We're going to pulse this knee open to the right side. Now we're working into the space of that right hip, also opening and releasing through the inner right thigh, the adductor muscles. But you might even play with if you could stir this leg around on its own, right? So we did the knees together, but now as you stir that leg, just moving in and around the space of the right hip. Good. Now, as you bring your knee into your chest again, on your next exhale, lift your head towards that right knee. As you curl in, you're stretching your back and you're squeezing your abdomen. And then relax your head and shoulders back down. If that felt okay on your neck, please do this 2 more times. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you lower. Exhale. And inhale. Now we will do this twist. So your leg comes across the midline of your body. Your right arm can just open out to the floor. And as you bring your leg over the body, stay with those steady full breaths. Inhaling all the way in, even with that twist at the belly. Good. Exhale to empty. We'll take one more big breath here. Bring your leg back to center. We will hug that right leg in one more time. And then a big full body stretch. So everything out long again. Legs out long, arms stretching up along the floor. Move your wrists and ankles. A little movement of your fingers and toes. And once again, relax your arms down, bend your knees. Bring your legs into your chest with both legs in. Rock from side to side. We will keep the left leg in. Bring the right foot to the floor. And as you stretch your left leg up to the sky, let's take some big circles with our left ankle. Move it in both directions. Find a little pronation of your foot side to side. Point and flex a few times. Good. From here, we will bend the left knee into our chest and let the right leg flatten out along the mat. So we're hugging the left leg in nice and tight against the belly. Breathe in here. We'll open the left knee to the left. So using that left hand, opening the knee as far to the left as it will go, maybe a little pulsing here. So you can feel into the outer left hip crease. So you're moving the knee open to the left, a little stretch for the inner thigh. Good. Maybe again you experiment with stirring the left leg around in some circles. As you move it around in a few circles, navigating the sensations on the inner hip and the outer, getting a little fluidity in that space. And then we will move into our twist. Left arm can open to the floor and use your right hand to bring your leg all the way over your body. Good. Nice. Deep, full breaths here. As you are ready, gather your left knee back to center. Hugging in, we will do our head to knee here. On your exhale, lift your head and shoulders towards your knee, curl in. Inhale, relax your head and shoulders back down. 2 more times, exhale, round in. Inhale, as you rest back. Good, 1 more. Very nice. From here, release your left foot to the floor. Full body stretch again, legs out long, arms overhead. Big stretch. Lift the rib cage, feeling a little stretch across the belly perhaps. And as you relax your arms down, bend your knees, feet onto the mat. Step your feet a little wider, and then take a few of your windshield wiper motions of your legs left and right. Good. Opening the front of the hips and thighs with this one. Also getting a little sensation of massage on the low back. Good. Back at center, we will gather our knees into our chest, give a little squeeze. Rocking from side to massage the muscles along the spine. And then optional on an exhale at center, if you would like to, curling your head and shoulders up towards your knees. And then release your head and shoulders back down. As you bring your feet to the mat, roll to your right side. Use your right arm as a pillow. Stay on your side for about 3 to 5 rounds of breath. And then we will press up to seated and make your way around onto hands and knees. In our tabletop position, we will start to move the spine with cat and cow. Lifting your sitting bones, bring your heart forward, maybe a gentle lift of your chin. And then exhale as you arch your back towards the ceiling, press into your hands and release your head. We'll move a few more full rounds of breath here. We'll move the knees a little bit wider apart and shift back into child's pose. Now, if our knees are not bending much today, we can always lower to our forearms and then melting our chest towards the earth as a way to stretch through the upper back. We'll find 3 more full breaths here. And then as you are ready, coming back up to your tabletop position. And with this one, what we are doing is we're moving the right knee about a 1/2 inch forward. So it's a little hard to do it small enough, but we're bringing the right knee just a tiny, tiny bit forward. With that right knee a little forward, we'll shift our hips back, maybe not all the way to child's pose, but we're shifting back and then coming forward. We'll do that 4 more times, shifting back and coming forward. Good. Coming back. So the knees are level here. So they're back in alignment. Taking 3 breaths just in a neutral table. So the neck is nice and long. Pressing into the hands. Just a little engagement through the core. So the belly is lifting slightly up and in. And once we've neutralized the spine, we'll take the left knee a 1/2 inch forward. Now I say a 1/2 inch and I watch mine still go 1 inch. So it's just a little bit because as we shift our hips back, oh yeah, whole new sensation across the low back and sacrum. So it's not a massive move. It's just a micro shift. Good. But as you are ready, aligning your knees again, and this time we'll go directly to downward facing dog. So you might move your hands a little farther forward, tuck your toes, lift your knees, and as you arrive in your downward dog, take a moment if you would like to pedal your heels or remaining in stillness. We'll find 3 more full breaths in down dog. Walking your hands and feet in towards each other, standing forward fold. A bend of the knees can feel quite nice. Perhaps a lot of a bend of the knees if the SI joint or if there's any sciatic awareness, that deep bend in the knees here can really help. Good. Now a half lift when you're ready. Inhale, lifting up just halfway, press into the front of your legs. Exhale as you gently bend the knees, fold over your legs again, and then we'll roll to standing. So rolling all the way up, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And then nice solid footprint here. Inhale, sweep your arms up high to the sky. And exhale, floating your arms all the way back down. One more time, a nice big inhale. We float the arms all the way up. And exhale as we float the arms back down. Good. Bringing your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers and begin to reach your knuckles back and down. Big opening here through the chest, through the shoulders. If the wrists or shoulders are not a fan of that, you can always do hands into the back pockets, bringing the hands onto the low back and drawing the elbows back. If you do have the bind, check in if you might find a little freedom in your neck. As we open the upper back with this positioning, sometimes it allows for us to move our head back in space in case we were having any forward head syndrome. Good. And gently release the bind. Very nice. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale, float your arms all the way back down. All right, we will do our Qigong shaking. And with Qigong shaking, we have a little wider stance. We're going to bend the knees and shake the hands. So as you're bouncing the knees, shaking the hands, shaking the fingers, long, slow, deep breaths here, allowing for this to help to move the lymph. So the lymph doesn't have a pump of its own. We need to move in order to move it. Good. As you're bouncing the knees and shaking the fingers, maybe start to take the arms up. And then bringing the arms back down. Hands and knees, hands and knees. Good job. Turning a little bit to one side. And then back to center. And then over to the other side. And back to center. Good. Keeping the hands and knees going. Let's take the arms up again. Letting the hands really flop. Good. And then bringing the arms back down. Good. Maybe a little leaning forward, doing scarecrow arms. Getting the arms and the chest. A little bounce here. Release. Coming back up. Perhaps you shift the weight over to one side. Lifting and shaking out through one leg. And then planting that foot, shifting and lifting and releasing the other leg. Good. Eventually coming back, we'll do hands and knees, hands and knees. And then we'll start to slow it down and eventually come to stillness. Big breath in. Big breath out. Good. Another deep inhale. And a full exhale. Good. Beautiful. We will step to the short side of our mat and take the left foot back, our warrior one stance. So the left foot's back, that heel is down on the ground. And as you bend your right knee, we're lifting up through our heart here. Nice deep bend into the right knee. And on an inhale, take your arms all the way up. And then we'll bend our elbows out to the sides here. So a nice cactus or goalpost position. 3 more full breaths here. Strong through your foundation. Lifted through your heart. Good. And then optional to interlace your hands behind your head. Letting your head start to rest back into your hands. Now, it doesn't have to be too much. We're just getting a little bigger opening for the heart, the chest, the lungs. Good. We'll release the arms to the sky, nice big stretch up. And then we'll step forward. Take your time. Exhale. Coming back to the top of your mat. Full breath here. And then second side, step your right foot back. Make sure the right heel is down on the ground so you have a solid foundation. And as you bend into your left knee, once your foundation is set, we'll inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, cactus arms again here. So here we're inviting the upper back to activate. So working the muscles between your shoulder blades to invite the shoulder blades a little flatter and down the back. Coming onto the back, this helps to lift your heart in your chest, opening the intercostals a little bit more. And then either staying here or interlace your hands behind your head again and invite the weight of your head to rest back a little bit into your hands. Good. With an inhale, reach up. And then we will step forward, exhale. Taking a moment to pause, breathe, and feel. Good. Very nice. So lots of chest openers, helping to have more space for those really deep breaths. Next, we will step our feet really wide apart on our yoga mat. And with this one, a couple of different options. We can either really work through the space of the core, keeping the legs straight, or working with a bit of a bend in the knee, one at a time. So what we're going to do is the inhale position, we have our arms out. Exhale, maybe you keep the legs straight, reaching over to touch the floor in front of the opposite foot. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, other side. Inhale to come up. Now navigating how your legs feel, we can do a bend of the knee and then come up. Beautiful. We're getting the core either way. So remember, we're thawing slowly. We're not asking ourselves to be summer energy or summer open. It's late winter, a hint of the idea of early spring. So we're meeting the bodies that we're in. Good. Stay with us a couple more rounds. When you feel balanced out, we'll come back up to center. Heel toe your feet a little closer together, not all the way in yet. We're going to turn our toes in, heels, or toes out, heels in, so that we can come into goddess squat. So with this, we want the knees to bend out nice and wide. Good. Now, as we have our legs straight and our arms reaching up, this is our inhale, 5-pointed star. And then as you exhale, you'll bend your knees, bend your elbows. Go ahead. Yeah. Inhale, straighten, reach up. Exhale, bending the knees, bending the elbows. Good. 3 more times, slow and steady. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more big breath in. And a full breath out. Good. Now, option to stay in this lunge, bringing your hands onto your legs, leaning forward a bit here, and maybe a little bit of a twist. So dropping one shoulder in, and then moving mindfully through center, and then dropping the other shoulder in. So a bit of a twist here, tending to your body, perhaps another dip to each side. Back at center, let's inhale, come all the way back up, standing up. And exhale as you heel toe, step your feet all the way back in towards each other. Good. Finding your Tadasana mountain pose. Eyes can be open or closed. Steady with your breath. Good. Very nice. Please come down to your seat again. And as you come down onto your seat, bring your knees in towards your chest. Okay, beautiful. We'll let our knees drop over to the right. So you'll take your knees over to the right side. And then with your left hand, go ahead and push that top leg back. So aiming to have both legs bent at a 90-degree angle. Now, how far back this one goes will depend on that left hip, or maybe the knees. Maybe we can scoot that left leg a little farther back, maybe not. So two legs at 90-degree angles. What we're doing first is we're twisting to the right. And then we're gently twisting any amount, not too much. We're twisting to the left. Obede, right? As if we were going to think about that left sitting bone dropping down. Mine's far from it. Let's inhale, twist to our right. Exhale, twisting to the left. Again, doesn't have to be too far. We'll do this one more time. Inhale as you turn to the right. Exhale as you turn to the left. And this time as we twist to the right, we will stay. So maybe the left hand is resting on your knee. Or if it's available, maybe you bring both hands to the floor, to the outside of that right thigh, that right knee. And as you're twisting here, really breathing along the abdomen. So from the low belly, that inner left hip point, low belly, all the way up the front body, letting the heart turn into the twist. Good. A few more full breaths here, inviting an upward energy of your heart space. So as we're turning, we're also lifting the heart. Oh, spring, where are you? Good. Yes. We're like the little crocuses that are ready at some point, I'm sure. All right, and then slowly unwind. Okay, bring those sweet legs back to center. Help them come all the way around. Give yourself a little squeeze. Ah, yes. Good. Oh, hips. So this time of year is emotional anyway, with winter stagnation, the full moon eclipse stirring up all kinds of things, all sorts of energy swirling around. So we work in the space of our hips to help to move any stagnation. Emotions are energy in motion. So we want to make sure that they move. When you're ready, knees drop to the left. And then your top hand or your right hand, it's called, is pushing that top leg back. So maybe we land at 2 right angles. It might feel like an ice pick in the right hip because it's an internal spiral, internal rotation. Maybe there's room that we move that leg a little farther back. Maybe not. We want to make sure it's breathable. And then we'll start a couple of times turning to the left. And then as you turn to the right, as if we were going to try to get that right, sitting bone down. We're turning to the left. And then we're turning to the right. Oh, baby. Good. Take your time, turning to the left, turning to the right. And then we'll turn to the left and stay. So here again, maybe right hand is onto the left knee. That could be the place that grounds us. And then start to breathe from that right knee all the way up the front of the right hip. Inside of that hip point, say good afternoon, good morning to your large intestine. Let your whole belly lift, let your heart lift. Maybe the hands are on the mat outside of that left thigh. Make sure it's breathable. Make sure that you're melting winter in a mindful way. Hallelujah. All right, let's unwind. Coming all the way back around, you might gently assist your legs with coming back. Give yourself a little squeeze here at center, a few full rounds of breath. Good. Now, since that one worked the hip flexors, it might feel nice to find child's pose. So because the psoas connects to the thigh bone, loops through the pelvis, and then hooks on in our spine, sometimes when we're doing those hip openings, it gets a little attention in the low back. Attention, hopefully not tension. So the counter pose that might feel nice, you check and see in your body, could be child's pose. Now we're aiming to get that nice opening through the space of the low back, mid back. Good. Beautiful. Next, we will use either our couch or I don't have any yoga blocks, but if you have yoga blocks and a bolster, it can be nice to put the bolster on top of the yoga blocks. But since this looks like it might be about the height of a chair, I'm going to use a chair. Although this chair might be a little too tall for myself being 5'4", but we will have a restorative posture with our legs up the chair or on the couch. Now, For my body, I prefer to have my feet free, so I like to stick my feet through the back of the chair. If you have a couch nearby, you might do that. This one is a little different than our legs straight up the wall. It just has a more restorative effect. So legs up the ottoman with Davenport. There was a festival yesterday honoring the ancestors. There's pretty much a festival every day of the year in India, which is lovely, right? Every day is a holy day. So when I say Davenport, it reminds me of my grandma. All right, so once you're in this position, lots of options for the hands. Maybe there's a hand on the heart, a hand on the belly. Maybe the hands are interlaced, resting over the rib cage. That can be a nice, gentle self-care position. Maybe it does feel good to have the arms in more of an expansive position, continuing our focus on the lungs and the chest. So the arms could rest on the floor into a cactus position. And feel free to make any adjustments or switch your arm or hand position at any point. But once you find one that feels pretty right for your system at this point, we will start by counting our breaths backwards from 10 to 1. So just 10 rounds of breath, counting backwards from 10 to 1. Once you have counted one round from 10 to 1, see if there are any little adjustments that you could make, or if you notice anywhere in your body that might let go a little bit more. Doing any repositioning, and then do another 10 rounds of breath, just gently counting back from 10 to 1. Go ahead. And then just taking a moment to notice your energy, noticing any shifts in the physical body from just this short amount of time in this pose. Perhaps it's available for you to stay for another 10 rounds of breath. We're at the end of our time together, so we'll close our practice here. Feel free to stay and always transition so slowly, never getting up quickly, just allowing it to be just this slow and mindful. Maybe we stay longer, maybe we roll to one side, eventually transitioning into the rest of our day. However you close your practice today, I thank you so much for contributing peace and equality from the inside out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you so much. Sending you all the love and see you next time.